or approaches to the game or have things to prove. I'm really excited to see all the teams, but this match in particular, this strikes me as one where either you're going to have the guys over at FrenzyGoKill get absolutely slapped around and we're going to be done this in 2 hours, or it's going to go all the way and we're going to have a gritty series, because between these two teams, there's no messing around. There's no FPX G2, you know, or Summon FC and G2 even, kind of tactics versus firepower. Both of these teams are like me a couple years ago in the shower. Yeah, they do their shampoo, they're cleaning, but they're all about the conditioning. Back when I had the longer hair. The early rounds, they love to get aggressive and really take the fights to their opponents. And that's where I see a real clash of play styles. Now, how much is that going to change for G2 with Zeke? I don't know. But for FrenzyGoKill, honestly, this roster's even confusing because they have a lot of players that used to occupy the same roles. Like, you could see almost everyone in this lineup take an operator at times, which is a pretty scary thing when you go over to Icebox.
Launching smoke.
Now, this is one thing, right? On Zeke, being the IGL now, maybe he's adding some more structure here to the G2 side. We get to see what he might be able to start off with, but FakeQ comes in straight away, and he starts off with a strong ghost kill. You see him playing around a bit here as Mixwell's going to be able to take advantage. They've gained control back onto the site, and they're actually going to force him away. So FrenzyGoKill, they don't want to stick around here. They're going to bundle their way backwards, but it's quite an easy map for G2 to rotate on. And already we're seeing they're not fully rotated out of the B site just yet. So FrenzyGoKill, they've got some work to do on trying to bring this back into an advantageous position. And maybe they'll try and do the double dupe in here.
That's definitely interesting. You know, straight away they baited out that Molotov. And probably wasn't intentional. Patatek playing there with the brim, but the timing was perfect. They go back, and then they come back to the A site, causing the rotates, leaving G2 with very little to say about this. They get it in time, but Vax good for one. Out in the open, Mixwell sticks around a little too long, overstaying his welcome and getting dropped, leaving it all down to just two members of G2 to get back into this site. Oh, what a great stun. Zeke can't do a damn thing, and with Pith stuck in this fight up into heaven, the flash was perfectly timed. Sender getting it in there. There was nothing Pith could do to put 1-0 on the board for FrenzyGoKill.
The fallback into playing off of G2 not being into position, working out wonderfully for them. And that sees them get the pissed around, potentially there with the follow-up. It's always key on getting the conversion. In how G2 used to play, right? We never really saw them force up and try and fight back off against this. Piff's going to initially buy up a Sheriff in there, getting the shorty from Mixwell, probably try to play off the smokes and get up close and personal with it. And right, one thing we always criticize when we were covering lots of the Ignition Series events and First Strike was that with G2, they became very focused on just playing off each other, playing how they feel. I'm looking, especially when we get onto their attacking side, to see what extra elements we'll see added to them here with Zeke now coming into the mix. Is there this extra level of depth that can be brought into the mix? That's what we've really got to be focusing on here, because this is going to be a telling sign for us for how the rest of the season might be looking for G2 after they didn't end on the high they wanted to.
Definitely. When you look at teams that can bring the firepower to G2, though, FrenzyGoKill are one of them, and FakeQ in with a double opening. He's looking for a little bit more. The shorty got up close, but caught behind the box, and he's tickling FakeQ up, baits him in the peak and wide, and there's a weapon to be retrieved. Okay, with the Bulldog in their hands, this is maybe doable to get a bit more damage. It's a 3v4, and there's basically nothing to work with outside of the Bulldog, and now even one less player for G2. So it's looking done and dusted. Well handled by FrenzyGoKill to just lose the one player, and they shouldn't even be able to retrieve that Bulldog now that they know where Artis is.
Yeah, easily held on to a little bit of caution initially as it got chaotic in the middle, but no real problem for FrenzyGoKill. Now the question is, do they stick with the bonus weapons or do they upgrade themselves through? More often than not, we see a faster play come out with all the Spectres and the lesser heavy hitting weapons in play for him.
In these kind of rounds, I never really expect an upgrade. Did they not get the Bulldog, or is it in front of Brahms? You would have presumed the priority would be, because obviously in this game you're not getting...
Up is at top, yeah.
Because the priority should always be to take those weapons over the likes of a Spectre, over the likes of a Spectre kill, you know, hunting down that final G2 member in the spawn. But as we come into this round, it's important. If FrenzyGoKill find this, it's a disaster. And that spray is a bit of a disaster. Mixwell not able to connect. The smoke obscures his vision. And now the site control is there. FrenzyGoKill get to dictate where these engagements take place. And that is huge, because they can make sure they're close range. And that's exactly where something like the Stinger can really thrive. A very brave peek by Machina. That doesn't quite go according to plan.
You thought he might have been able to have a chance to get away with it there, but still, with the plant down, G2 need to make the magic happen on the retake. And it's Ardis, the man who's largely in charge, is going to continue to barrel on forward. More kills going his way. He will be taken down by Sender, but he's overwhelmed and swarmed. The defuse comes in, and that is a pretty comfortable round for G2, though Frenzy, they certainly had a chance.
Yeah, well, they certainly made that round into a bit of a frenzy, a full push out towards the A side. That's what you expect, though. Well, there's two different approaches teams can take. It's either a super turtle, you're trying to bait out G2 into taking those aggressive fights and then answering from there with the close range lurks on different parts of the map, or it's just that straight up blitz. And honestly, I think that was a very, very good attempt. A couple of things that didn't go their way, the flash that went through, not allowing for the kill for Machina. Had he have even just found the one? If it wasn't Mixwell there, if it was anyone that didn't have a dash, that was a kill. Now all of a sudden a 4v3, he can possibly get out of there as well. You never know. Things could have went their way. But now they've got the weapons in their hands and it's time to make it work from the get-go. A lot of Phantoms I'm seeing, 3 of them. And with Split being so close range, you can force those 15 to 30 meter engagements where it's either a one-shot headshot or you're getting 140 and all you got to do is tap him in the toe afterwards. And with the gun being so easy to spray control versus the Vandal, then that is, it's pretty reasonable to take this weapon on Split, unless you were holding somewhere like from screens or mid straight down. That's a little over 30 meters, so you're going to want the Vandal.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? We went through this whole meta of players just playing off what they thought was better. Now it's become a lot more situational. We've started to understand the weapons and how they can be used to the full of their capabilities in here. Frenzied, they can't at the moment push forward just yet. They don't want to risk it going through the smokes. Launching smoke. Palatex keeps himself in a good spot, but Machina is going to try and push on up fast. He manages to take down Mixwell, but can they capitalize on this? Oh, his position, it wasn't checked straight away, and Palatex straight in, double headshots, locks them down, flames go at their feet as well. He tries to spray it out.
I know
Can't quite connect fully onto FakeQ, but now the sniper ult is going to come into mix. He's going to get the extra information in there, and Ardis, he's going to capitalize off wherever he can now to push on forward. Bram's reposition could be huge, but that ult, that's a problem. Not one he's able to avoid. Brams tries to catch him off guard, but Piff, he's ready and waiting for it. 3 still alive, no problem at all for G2. And that's 2 clinical gun rounds in here.
Absolutely clean as can be, and if you're G2, that's exactly what you want. You destroy them when it comes down to the retake versus the weaker weapons. You then go through and deal the damage on the full buys. Now FrenzyGoKill are in this tough position where they're not going to have a great buy at all. Already you're seeing Sheriffs come out, likely going to concede that and put it 3-2. Now on split attack side, you can be that little bit slower. But the thing is, they've got ultimates to work with, and that's where the real difference maker can be. It's why you'll see Frenzy go for a little bit of a heavier investment than maybe you would otherwise, because with Vac having his showstopper, with the Rolling Thunder, even with the knives in play, the Blade Storm, you now have a pretty decent buy to level out the economy difference.
Oh, Ardis position not being checked straight away, but then the knives come out. Machina flies on round. We'll put an end to him. Back doing some damage with the Spectre as well. Piff going to delay the plant going down. More damage being had. The ult as well coming into fruition. No one's going to be found, but it keeps them from putting the spike down. Can G2 try and make something work from here? Both players up in the tower. None of the FrenzyGoKill players are going to give up their position just yet. Padatek, he tries to find the head popping up, but there's plenty of players around to look out for where he's shooting from. And Vac, he's getting away with murder with that Spectre. We spoke about them having lesser weaponry, but that B-bust worked out perfectly. Ardis, he tried to be patient and have that trigger discipline in there, but straight away afterwards, Machina was able to turn around, and well, he ripped him apart with the knives.
This is it. We talked about the ultimates. They committed so much to that. You've got Machina, Vac, and Sender all down on 1 or 0 points after burning up their ultimates. But it doesn't matter. When you can use your ult economy to buy you back into the rounds where you don't have credits, that's exactly what ultimates are for. Sure, there's other uses for them, but it's one of the best ways to really put the percentages in your favor. Now for G2, we look on the other side. They've got a full buy, but they're up against one. It's going to be tough. They've got a res, so you can look for some early aggression on top of ramp, as we saw. The Patatech Guardian from afar tapping through, takes down Vac. He's got another on the side angle, but doesn't know about Machina, who's getting a double. Mixwell through the smoke, had no idea. And with that FrenzyGoKill, they can get the spike plant, and they've removed all players with their ultimates. No more res when you lose your Sage. This is huge. And if Artis gets caught on this flank, the round is over, but he might just have the timing. Oh, the player evades him just about. He has to cross a dangerous cross with a weak weapon, but he can't upgrade and make noise. But now he can after finding the frag.
But he hasn't got to upgrade just yet. He's looking for the time that's not quite on his side. Piff there to come into Machina and finally shut him down. Sender putting it back into a 1v1 now. His health's a little bit low, and Artis is going to take full advantage of that. Artis hops on the defuse. There's plenty of time, and I love that from G2. They stuck to their guns. They stuck with what they had. They wanted to make a move in case the time became pressure to them. So this is looking real nice for them to pull off a round like that pretty much was in the favor the whole way through for Frenzy once they got into the site.
And this is the other thing I want to point out. Artis, okay, he did really well in that round, obviously finding the flank kill, but it's the decision making. It's the realization that he needed to play with his teammate in that moment. They didn't have a lot of time. His teammate's in heaven and feels he's got the opening. He's already peeking down the site. Artis could have went up the ramp and taken the Vandal. He knew that that player had a rifle. He saw it. It was all he saw going around the corner. But instead, he rushes forward on the site, uses his nade to flush a player out of position so that the fight can be taken by his teammate. Now, okay, that fight wasn't successful, but it's the thought that counts, right? And those split-second decisions where you realize I can have a Vandal and be in a 1v2, or I can play with my teammate. That is where you want to be. And I think G2 on-the-fly decision-making is almost better than anyone else we've seen. I'd say probably just better based on the fact that that's all they were winning off of in the early days of Valorant.
Also true. The less default heavy, the more play off how they were feeling. And they've got so many individuals who can really play to their strengths like that. Now here, Frenzy, they're going to try and take some mid control. No one on G2 is actually sticking around. You saw a different style of wall off. Normally we see the wall be placed straight across the mid, and it can often be broken down, especially since the wall for quite some time now has been lowered in what it can take. Especially when it initially goes up, it can be quickly destroyed. So I like the way G2 are trying to utilize it here. It's forcing them to play into their hands, and right now it's forcing them to play into Mixwell. No flashes going out, and Mixwell lands the first big kill. Nades are going out towards him, but he's picking up kills. Even dashes out to not take the grenades. And Mixwell, he's ripping them apart. He's feeling confident. He's wanted them all. He's taking them down, and there's only one more to find. He knows exactly where he is. Can't land the shot, but he's not sticking around. He's not going to give it up to him, and he wants to make sure this is still possible. Mixwell, no! He goes out for it again, and Bram,
The TP.
he's got the spike, he's got the TP, and Piff now has to try and clutch this out.
I understand.
31 health in a dream.
Spike planted.
He went for it because he had the dash. He'd gotten it back up, so he thought, oh, look at the timing. This guy's walking with his knife out, the brains, the balls, but he's spotted by the cam, and Pith wins the fight. But for a 4K, for an operator shutdown on the B main push, that came way. Does he know that he's killed the last player?
You know, that happens in those crazy moments, right? He probably realized, did you really get that many kills, Mixwell? Did you do that so quickly, bruv?
Yeah, someone's going to say he was looking for a weapon, but look at his crosshair placement there. He's looking for a player. Oh, the backside's clear, guys. Where did he go? Like, he's dead on B. But, you know, it was about that 4K. To not be able to convert that round a little easier is worrying. But also, it's just insane by Brams. You don't expect him to hit those shots. Mixwell had his dash back up and he went out to get the ace. Fair enough. He would have had his ult in this round. I don't think it would have really mattered because obviously they have a weak weapon, but they wouldn't have had those Spectres had they not lost so many players. But it's just a confidence play. You get the 4K, you're like, hey, I've got my dash, I'll go for the ace.
Yes.
But Brams, well, he took that opportunity.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
We've been talking about and hearing about Brams for a long time. See how well he can do here for European Valorant. Machina, though, he's actually been doing so well on the entries here for Frenzy over and over again. He may have taken a fair amount of damage on this one. There's no Sage on his team to heal him back up, but it doesn't matter how much damage he's taken. He's still picking up the kills. He's coming in to revive Patatech, but is it even going to be enough? Because Frenzy, they're all over the map. They've taken the space. They've taken the control. And honestly, G2, they don't have a clue what's going on.
Not often you see them so overwhelmed like that. Even the nice shot from Mixwell in the chat. We talked about these guys, FrenzyGoKill. We said they're beasts, and right there you see that they're not even deterred by one round where they rush in and get torn apart. They don't mind. They'll keep on going for it. And you got to respect that, the audacity in a way. It's working out for G2, the 2v3, but Brams was trying a flank. Now the heal goes up. This slow in the back of the side. Sender not going to be hit by it, though, and he's going to... Oh, okay. So he's actually just outside of this. This should be huge. A 1v2. He sneaks around. The timing is his. They probably think he's in spawn, and so he's able to get a free shot onto the diffuser. Flash is still up. Pops his final one out. Creeps around and knows now that the round is over. The timing is his. He's even going to try to get the kill on the player exiting, but that won't happen. Actually, escaping here is going to be a little tough. He just about makes it.
Really solid round there from Frenzy. Okay, it goes on down to a situation that G2 could have won, but just how far they were able to explode on different sides of the map was really crazy. That's what G2 now to be very careful of, because imagine if G2 didn't have that revive coming on to Padatek. This wouldn't have even been close.
I'm just really confused. They peeked into B main, saw he wasn't there, and then it seemed like they just kind of stopped. They just left it because you had the player. You'd ulted backside, you'd cleared B main. The only place you could really be peeked from that would be dangerous is if he had wrapped Heaven from spawn, which was definitely a possibility, or if he was where he was, hiding behind site. Really odd that that they left it unprotected. A little bit of action going on here, though, James. We're missing out on it, but on the A site, we see it eventually. They're rushing in. They're getting some kills, and for Frenzy, that's all they want. They want to get that spike down and probably avoid close-range fights, considering the buy they're up against.
Yeah, Brams is going to get walled off here. He's not choosing to break it or give away his position just yet, but this is nice. There may be a chance for him here. Vac playing off the side. It's all going to come down to the timing. Oh, Artist getting away with it. Shotgun power fully coming up. He's even trying to do it long range. Frenzy needs to be careful. And Artist, even though he's stunned, he's still looking to do more damage. They're playing with each other for now, but they're going to try and now overwhelm Sender. He's stuck down the side. The knives come out. And Piff, well, he was already on the defuse.
He's going to give it over to Mixwell, though. Get those knives out of plenty in the next round. Obviously, he already has his ultimate, so why not? Why not donate it? But when you look at G2 right now, they're sweating. They're under pressure. Every single round that they've won was a defuse. Now, I don't know when the last time I saw that much pressure applied to G2 was in a game that's separated by just one round. Their buy is going to leave them with no cash in the bank. And a tactical pause I saw being called for FrenzyGoKill. This is the perfect time to call one as well. Machina has got his Blade Storm, right? But he hasn't got armor yet. And with 3,000 on the dot, if he buys armor, he can't drop his teammates a proper rifle. So if they wanted to go in hard on this round, they're leaving their player that has essentially a rifle without any armor. Then you're having a couple of the other guys can't really fully invest. If they do, they'll end up with a pistol, a Spectre, a Bucky, something like that. Attack side Bucky, not too likely. So it's a really tough round to make a decision on, because I'm sure some of these guys want to buy right away, and the others are saying, I don't really want to play this round with a classic. So they're going to see what the decision is, and it looks like full armor for Machina. He'll pop his ult, and the rest of the players just going to stick with pistols.
Get out of my way! Bomb buddy out.
Now they're just a more traditional wall. The knives have gone up. Machina looking to put some players down. Artist completely flashed out of the equation. As Zeke, he's trying to fight a little bit longer, but he's completely overrun. Gun down and Frenzy, they don't need to push it just yet. They've upgraded their weapons, and they're falling back up into this. Brams is even looking to play off a sneaky spot in case anyone tries to lurk behind him. But for now, Piff's just sticking to his guns. He's staying where he is, and he is in the back line, spots out the first player, and this is where he has to be careful, because they can quickly start to rush him down. Shots come out his way, the nade blowing off around him, and he just can't get out of there in time. That's not what they needed at all. And now Mixwell, he needs to hit some huge shots. But Frenzy, they're not even fully sticking around with it. The teleport goes through, Bram's looking to gain some more space, and he's just trying to keep G2 focused and locked down at this position, because his teammates, they are not willing to go for it yet. They want to secure this round in style, and they want to do it with huge amounts of confidence at the same time. Mixwell, he's just looking, he's being so cautious. They're playing Ring Around the Roses, and he may not have any information that Brams has managed to sneak on by.
Oh, he has the info now, but I think they've heard the steps, surely. They know that he's there. Now they'll be conscious of the CT, or the defender spawn, excuse me. The smoke goes down, but they peek a little early. Timing slightly off, but it doesn't give Mixwell the kill. He wasn't even ready for that. The spike plant should leave G2 to save these weapons, but they're sticking around. They're playing aggressive, so maybe they've got something else in mind. Hoping that a flank comes through. Mixwell's going to make as much noise as he can, try to take a fight, and allow Patatek to take a player coming out of heaven. But for now, FrenzyGoKill, they're just stuck in the mud. They're sat still, not looking to get aggressive and give away any advantages they currently have.
Last player standing.
G2, they tried to play this smart. They tried to make sure they got the information, but they just didn't have the numbers in this. The push from all sides, Mixwell doing his best, but it's not going to work out this time around. FrenzyGoKill, they pick up the thrifty round, and they do it in style. Initially off the back of the knives towards middle. Machine able to find some early damage, get Artist taken down. And then from there, they picked up the weaponry. Zeke went out of it, and then it was just too hard for G2 to hold on.
Too tough to keep their grasp. And I mean, the fact that they stuck around and tried to commit to that so much is something we've seen from G2 from time immemorial, aka in the last year, where we've had loads of situations where we're like, oh, yeah, well, G2 obviously saved. But they don't. This team plays uber confident, but the problem is, in this position versus FrenzyGoKill, they're not getting away with it. They're not being granted the opportunities. That's a nice try by Zeke, hiding behind the wall as they break it. He swings out, and he got a close-range fight. Everything about that engagement went as well as he could have planned, except for where the bullets went.
Sometimes you just can't avoid it. You're not Matrix Neo trying to pull it out and dodge around it all. Some players think they are, but it's very difficult to pull off. Fifth trying to hide out here. Ooh, does land the first shot, a nice amount of damage, but it's not going to be enough to net him the kill. Artist definitely doesn't want to push on this smoke, but Brams is low on the other side of it. Easy pickup for him. Now he grabbed himself the Phantom as well to work into the advantage. He's got Patatek up high in the tower with a Stinger at best. And this is the problem, the lesser weaponry, the positions to be had here. The ult's going to be popped by the Raze, and back. He's doing further damage in it. But this is still possible for G2. Can they make it happen? We hear the ult's going out, we hear the damage being done, but the kills will go the way of Frenzy. And a 6-5 scoreline on their attacking side. But one thing I've got to ask you here, Mitch, right? We've seen G2 so many times on Split, and it's attack side where they have been at their best over and over again. Do you expect it to be any different? Do you even think that Frenzy have got enough rounds?
I mean, there's a lot of things going on there. The reality is when you get 6 rounds on Split, I'll take a look. I'll take a quick readout of their Split games so far. 100% win rate. They've only played it once, though. But in that game, they got 8 rounds on the attack side and then ended up winning 13-8. So it wasn't terrible on either side by any means. That was versus Big. Certainly not the same kind of team as G2. I think, though, what they've shown us of their defense so far in previous games, they should be decently capable. Mixwell, how does he get away with that? There was a flash out. It missed him. He turned his back and then spun in to get the kill.
Oh, wow.
Playing anti-flash doesn't always work out in this game, but it did right there.
It really did. And a 6-6 scoreline. I think for G2, they'll be a little bit unhappy with that just on how some of the rounds they lost, especially the thrifty one. I think they would feel like they would be at 7-5, maybe 8-4 side of things. For Frenzy, they really came out running and gunning, confident as ever. And I think that's one thing that we spoke about, right, is when you look at these two teams, they've both got that high level of confidence. And this is in a game that Vac hasn't even popped off on yet. And this is a man we always look to be a game changer, a huge difference maker.
Yeah. The thing is, for G2, when we look back through their past games, the defensive side versus some teams like FPX, who I think they've played more than any other team on this map. In fact, out of their last 10 games, 4 of them are FPX.
Yeah.
But their defense has been good there. But more recently, versus Heretics, versus Orgless, they got 5 and 3 rounds in total. So the fact that they've gotten 6 here, the attack side is where they really flourish. And I think 6, yeah, okay, they wanted their 7, their 8 versus a team that certainly hasn't got the same name value as them, but I think they'll be happy enough with what they've got.
They might have the same name value soon enough.
They might. You never know. You never know. Oh!
How are you getting away with that?
He's making his own name here with the classic, and it's not even the right clicks. It was left all the way.
That was legit. Question is it going to be enough now? They got a lot of work to do, 3 players to find. Oh, nicely done by Vac. Easy kill onto Zeke. Can't quite get the second, though. And that could have been the huge one for them to pick up. It's still going to be put into a 1v1, and I love this. He's running on away. Sender is going to spend out his abilities and going to allow Panatek to reposition. He's checking the entire site. The time is not on his side. The flames go at his feet. He's going to be forced off the spot. Panatek has brought all the time in the world. This is exactly what he needs. He avoids the stun and he'll stay alive. And this is a G2 pistol win. He can just spend as much time as he wants on it. Sender will even land a nice headshot. But that spike is going to go boom.
Yeah, I respect the attempt to still defuse.
It's a good effort.
He couldn't physically get away. But no, that was really nicely done. And we see the value there of having a Brimstone. Attack side post plans with that Molotov being as cheap as it is. There is pretty much never a round where your Brimstone doesn't have his molly. So you can either use it to clear angles as you push forward. If you've got those lineups, it can be very, very powerful because it guarantees that they push out very quickly. It's even better than, well, it depends, right? If you're doing a long lineup, it can take a long time to fly there, like 10 or 11 seconds. But when it's landed, it's more efficient than an aftershock because they can't sit inside of it for as long. You sit in the molly for the same amount of time you would before leaving an aftershock, and you're already dead. You're dead twice, probably. So it's a really nice utility decision from Riot to give him that, because it just means Brim is much more likely to be picked, even though we haven't seen him that much today. But I'm happy to see G2 deploy.
I think what we'll see probably against most of the very top teams is Brim integrated ever so slowly. But another talking point is how confident do people feel on using Brim where they're still maybe getting used to it if they haven't played it at all.
Back. He's up close. He's getting a kill. Exactly what you want when you've got the classic. And now a two-man advantage to play with as well. They know exactly where G2 are. There's the aftershock. The late swing comes in, but Panatek got blinded. Perfectly timed as they take him down. But hold on. Zeke has more to say. A double kill to add to Artis's triple. And that closes out the round. G2, they get away with murder on that one.
Mitch, my heart was thinking it was all going to go horribly wrong for G2 and Frenzy were going to pull it off. But luckily, Artis and Zeke coming around to save the day there. That was closer than it ever should have been. And it's because, like you said, they allowed Frenzy to get so close. They allowed to take full advantage of it with weapons like that in their hands.
The thing you have to remember when you look at FrenzyGoKill is just the fact that the team they're playing is... Okay, Heretics are giving them a run for their money, but they've long been the best team in Europe. They've only lost one best-of-3 when it came down to elimination series. One series, full stop, when it came down to elimination in tournaments, and that was 2 Heretics in First Strike. Other than that, they had that best-of-3 loss in very exceptional circumstances versus FPX, but they came back through the lower bracket and won the tournament in the Allied Odyssey. And outside of that, they've just won everything. No issue, just strolled through. Right now, you're seeing them in the quarterfinals versus FrenzyGoKill, who made it through the open qualifier, actually managing to make them struggle. And Brams, well, he's just really underlining that with that frag. He saw a pixel. I think he saw the last hair on her head, but took the frag. Sender getting up close in that smoke. Lucky that his gun isn't protruding inside of it, and he eventually just backs off. But they have a good read on G2. They know where they can be, and they're already rotating into this position. It's going to be a really tough task for G2 to close out.
Yeah, 2v4 is going to take off some incredible shots, and well, that's a good start into the second as well. Piff, he moves on forward. He's got what they need, but FaQ is in such a good spot, and he misses the first few shots. Nearly an opportunity for Artis to strike back. But with the spike now on the floor, and Piff all alone, there's too much for him to deal with, too much for him to handle. He picks the spike back up, tries to bait him out, wants him to move on forward. Now he goes out towards him, he continues to try and bait him with it, they're pushing onto him, but it's FaQ. He just faces, deals with it, doesn't even have his teammate facing with him at the same time. But that is solid. That is a big pickup, and you've got to remember, this is G2's map picking here. They are the one that went for the home ground of Split. Doesn't necessarily mean they're 100% going to win it, but they should be the favorites in it, right? We've seen so many great games on this from them. And normally, I'm getting so hyped up every time I see Artis bring out the Rays.
Pith also just made an insanely ballsy play. So he stepped into the grenade, the Rays nade that came down, knowingly, because that's an angle that they probably shouldn't clear. If he started planting and he isn't forced out from default, he's probably down below, where he did tap it just a second ago. So the idea was, if he sticks it, that one of them will rush him,
Right here.
either kill him or delay time long enough that the second one will win the round. So instead, he peeks into the nade, hoping they both give themselves away at the same time and don't expect him on that angle, so the crosshair placement is off, and he can win the round with a nice 2K to bring him up to 4. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but I really like the thought. Again, split-second decision-making for G2 as individuals is always so good, and they just catch players off guard with how aggressive they play, and it's just things you don't expect. Like, I guarantee if he kills one there, they're like, why is he in the nade? He shouldn't be in the nade.
Here comes the party.
Oh, here's Artis again. Up to his old tricks. That's not going to work out well for him, though. A wasted ult, and Brams is still alive, even finding a kill onto Mixwell. They're going to trade it out on the site. And Frenzy now, they won't have the position to fight up into this just yet.
Spike planted.
Oh, this could be huge, though. Machina with the knives out. Look, all the shots are coming out. He might be able to bait some of his teammates for now, but instantly, he's been razor sharp with a few of these shots. It's been working out fantastically for him. But it's not going to work out for Frenzy on this round. Still just 2 alive for G2. And a fair amount of commitment. Artis did create some space with it, right?
Well,
but it wasn't enough to net him the kill.
It's exactly what Artis' job is, ultimate or not. As a Raze on the attack side, you're supposed to be creating space. You're supposed to be destroying the utility of someone like a Cypher on the other team. And it was just really, really nice timing by Brams to put in that paranoia. It completely negated the effects of the ultimate, and they realized, okay, he's probably going to rush in here after hearing the blast back. Paranoia, run away. Hope he doesn't pre-fire hit us. The classic! The right click still does damage, but not being as powerful as it once was. Thankfully, Riot have nerfed it a little bit, so it doesn't quite get the kill, despite 2 players being low from G2. There's a lot to do for FrenzyGoKill, considering what they're working with. I mean, hardware-wise, they're broken.
Oh, Pip, spraying away. Can't quite connect all the shots he wants, but he does have the backup from his teammates. He'll finish it off with the classic as well. And realistically, we didn't expect too much in this round. Rams and Sender picking up as much as possible, but even Artis flashed a bit, still spraying them down, still putting him down, and grabbing that 10th round.
Three in between them, Banks. 21 kills on the board for Artis, close to getting his ult back already. Just used it a round ago. If you're FrenzyGoKill, the pressure is definitely going to be applied at this point. You know, and we know that G2 on their attack side, it's where they pick up the majority of their rounds. We talked about their conditioning, and so far, they have been playing quite direct, but the mid control for them is something that I expected to be there to an even greater extent. They're actually giving FrenzyGoKill a lot of space. In this round, Artis is left there alone to try and lurk up, and that smoke, he's going to push through it, but hold on. What? Mixwell dashed! He got away!
Mixwell! Oh, that was beautiful! I thought he was done for!
Cage triggered.
It sure looked like it.
The speed of this man, he will be finished off by FakeQ. And now we're going to see the ultimate deployed, and this will give them the positions, which means everyone in G2 needs to reconfigure themselves, needs to move around, but Brams, he's up in it, and he's putting more down. This man is a tank right now. Has he done enough for them to pick up the round? We're about to find out, because Zeke still has to get the plant down.
Spike planted.
Sender smoked off for the meantime, and Piff, look where he's going. He's going to try and head back up towards tower, knowing that they may have moved around. Oh, this is huge. It's not going to be checked. He wasn't playing it so aggressively. He'd also be able to pick up the operator to give on to Mixwell as G2. Oh, did he not want it? Yeah, I guess they decided, no, look, we're not going to have it.
I don't mind it. Attack side, when Mixwell has his ult as well, you've got so many options already for varied aggression that I guess the operator would almost just force you in a box of how to play this round. Yep. I don't mind it. But with 11-7, especially on split as well, because there's not as much room on the attacking side to open up as there would be elsewhere. Whereas on the defense, if you've got a jet, why not? We've already seen the impact in the first game of the day that can happen there with Magoo.
Oh, yeah. We definitely remember those Magoo moments, that's for sure.
Magoo moments. I like it. That's going to be his little YouTube highlight afterwards. Magoo moments.
Welcome to Magoo moments.
I hope he gives a shout out to Sasuke in that, because Sasuke was a key member in a lot of these moments. But look, we've had another pause come through and a chance to discuss what's going to be going down, because for FrenzyGoKill, they don't have the same luxury that their opponents did, or sorry, that they did actually in round number 2, where they had a lot of ultimates. Basically, they Rolling Thundered, they used up their Showstopper and all this. Now they've only got a Rolling Thunder, really, when it comes down to ultimates that will help you bridge the gap on those heavy weapons. And you can't use it in the same way either. It's almost reserved for retakes, but they might use it here on B. They've spotted a lot of players. This is where Rolling Thunder could actually change the course of the battle, but they've decided not to. Instead, bailing on back. Zeke goes in for the res. Still no Rolling Thunder. Honestly, I thought it was going in at this point, but no, they've decided against it. And on the back of that, G2 are allowed to just walk away. Sure, there's one weapon left there for FrenzyGoKill to retrieve, but that is a net loss for them, really, considering how they started things out. 2 kills for 1 trade, still had Rolling Thunder online. They knew a lot of players were in B main, but luckily they're still holding around 3 players on B, where G2 are on their way back towards.
Here.
And remember, right, this B entrance has been widened since the split changes have come in to try and give the defense a bit more of a chance, and also give the attacking side a wider way in to not be blocked off every single time. Talking about blocking off, the Sage Wall going down will provide G2 with the cover they need, but still Frenzy, they have a great chance in this. The nade's going to go out, but Zeke's taken down back. Sender now with the Bulldog, looking to make some magic happen. It's time for him to shine, but he's going to go and stab himself through the wall. He wants to push on forward, but there wasn't enough damage done towards it. He's still just every now and again trying to break it. He's only got 7 bullets left in the chamber. Back into the Sheriff, and he's just overwhelmed. He's overrun.
It was a good try.
A good effort.
Yeah, a good attempt, right? You're breaking the wall with the knife, hoping that the guy runs up behind you, like just pushes this site to try and quickly get the kill and almost embarrass you. But then you turn around, you're there, you're ready, but no one comes. So then you shoot it a bit, turn around, I'm ready, but no one comes. It's a 2v1. Why would they split up and give those advantages away when they don't need to? And I think good decision making by G2, and a shame with Sanders' timing on that Rolling Thunder. It just came in too late. When they popped it, the players were already out of B main. They were already taking the fight. They killed one before the one player who could have reacted. They killed before they even got hit by the Rolling Thunder. So it was basically just out of play immediately. And they had the right idea, but just wrong execution on it. 5 rounds between them now. FrenzyGoKill. They've gotten 1 round on their defensive side. Now they need 5 in a row. So I'll let you go figure out how likely that is. But let's give them a little bit of faith, even though they're up against a Blade Storm and a Showstopper of a G2 attack that has been looking hot so far.
Taking it slower this time around. Mixwell back on the operator.
Enemy kill.
Oh, easy clap onto Vac.
Get out of my way.
No problem at all. FakeU's going to spot one out, but he doesn't want to stick around and fight. He needs some backup for sure. Artist is there with the ult. Will miss it, but still gets the kill. He reads it perfectly. He loves to say he walks on water. Well, he certainly is in this game. Can he keep this up from start to finish? It's likely so. The G2 are pushing on by. Sender wants to try and take advantage of it, but it's not going to happen. And Machina, well, he misses a key shot. There's more players around him. He's trying to land the ball, but Panatic puts him down. 13-7, and G2 pick up their map pick. Can they pick up the second? Well, you'll be finding out.